Hello, everyone, and welcome to ROKStudios. I'm Stan Miller. I'm PR and Analyst Relations Manager for Rockwell Automation in the EMEA region. And I'm joined today by David Herranz. He is Head of Manpower in Europe. David, welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
And I'm also joined by Susana Gonzalez. She is our EMEA President. Susana, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Stan. And thank you, David, for coming.
Thank you.
So today we're here to talk about workforce challenges in the industrial automation space. This is a great topic. I can't think of two better companies to discuss this. Manpower, Rockwell Automation, both with their global headquarters in Milwaukee, where I'm from originally. So excited. Let's get into the topic.
Yeah.
David, if I could start with you,
Sure.
please. From your perspective, what are the biggest challenges facing industrial companies? Share your perspective on that.
Yes, we think that the main challenges that industrial companies are facing when we're speaking about talent is a scarcity of talent, and I'm going to come back to this in 1 second. Second is the effectiveness, and third one is the skill gap that normally companies are facing. And then when we're speaking about scarcity of talent, normally it's not that we are lacking talent, we are lacking skills. It's a scarcity of skills. This is a very interesting point. And the second one is about the new way of managing talent. So we are speaking about ecosystem, meaning that nowadays, new generations, they can choose where and when to work. And this is very important too. These are the main challenges.
Makes perfect sense. So, Susana, transitioning to you for a moment, from your perspective, how can technology help support manufacturers to meet some of these challenges?
Yeah, first of all, I think both David and myself, Manpower and Rockwell Automation, we speak to a lot of customers in different industries, and I couldn't agree more that attracting and retaining a skilled workforce and talent is one of the biggest challenges that we're facing, mainly because people don't want to work. The new generations are not looking forward to working in some of the more traditional OT environments. I think that companies that want to be competitive and remain competitive are using digitalization as a way of making those manufacturing environments more modern and more attractive to the new generations. That's one of the ways where technology is helping.
Great points. I mean, we often talk about technology giving industrial workers superpowers, and I think that that's a great setup for continuing our conversation. David, you recently shared some research highlighting 1.7 million jobs tied to the green transition. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. Let me be a little bit more specific on that. So we were releasing that research during the Work Economy Forum in Davos. We have been working with the Work Economy Forum for the last 15 years in future of work. In this case, this is a research that we did together with CEPSA, that is an oil and gas company based out of Spain. Why this research? Because we were looking for the impact of green energy within Europe plus UK. But in this case, it's not only green energy. It's very focused on green molecules coming from hydrogen. So it's very specific. Only in this piece of green, we're speaking about 1.7 million new jobs that we are going to create in Europe in the next 15 years, only when we're speaking about hydrogen. Imagine how big it is when we're speaking about the new green transition or green economy. And let me give you a couple of examples, because this is very important to speak about what is the impact of this within the manufacturers. Why? Because 90% of the new jobs that are going to be created are not going to be in the energy industry, are going to be in the rest of the value chain. For example, fertilizers, or for example, automakers, where they need to transform their vehicles into hydrogen-powered vehicles. So they need to look for new skills to be able to produce the new cars. This is a very good example, I think.
Absolutely. Susana, if I could follow up David's comments, I mean, that's a staggering number of jobs in just one segment. From your perspective, how can digitalization help?
First of all, congratulations on the paper. I really think that the work that Manpower and CEPSA did to evaluate the skill sets and selecting employees for upskilling is one of the solutions, right? How do you upscale your current population to be able to do roles that didn't exist in the past. Now, the other piece is also how do you leverage technology and digitalization. When we speak about digitalization and why we like to speak about helping customers on the digital journey, we're speaking about bringing technology, processes, and people together. But people, even with digitalization and all the new technology, people still remains at the core of the equation. So how do we use technology to bring those people faster to speed and to productivity? How do we empower those superpowers that you were speaking about before? And we have lots of examples on technology that is helping with that, right? Whether it is digital tools and digital deployment technology that is helping you to actually do less factory inspection tests, for instance, and doing more things remotely. We're speaking about digital instructions. How do you enable the machines to, or the operator of a machine to actually get those instructions in a faster and more convenient way? No longer reading lots of books to figure out how to run the machine. And we're talking about virtual connectivity as well. So there is plenty of technology to be able to assist manufacturing employees from the distance and not having to be any more confined by the walls of a factory, for instance. So I think those are two different, but at the same two similar topics. One, upskilling the workforce, and the other one, using new technology to actually make the factories easier to operate and in a more simpler way.
I love some of those examples, Susana. The first time I saw a role-based augmented reality interface over a machine and how it was able to put the right information in front of that particular role, it was very clear to me how those technologies can help change the game. So, David, from your perspective, from a talent perspective, how can you address this need for jobs? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the first statement that I could place is that we should stop talking about jobs. We need to start speaking about skills. Because again, if we are able to understand what is the skill gap that we have, then we know how to address that. While we are speaking, we are training in this moment 800,000 people around the world with energy in how to deal with batteries, for example. So this is upskilling. So this is something that is already happening. But the first thing that we need to do when we are, let's say, facing a particular transition within a company is to understand what is the skill gap. So to do a real skill mapping about what are the skills that I have today in my organization, what are the skills that I'm going to need in future based on this transition. And normally this is very challenging because you don't know what are going to be the skills that you are going to need in future. Once you know that, you know what is the gap that you have. And how to bridge the gap is going to be in many different ways. Hiring new people with the right skills, upskilling people that you have already in your organization, helping them to get there, to catch up with the new technologies or with the new transition, the new energy. And then there is something that is very relevant that we need to do from the beginning. That is what we call the pre-skilling. So pre-skilling is a process that is even more interested sometimes than even upskilling or reskilling. So then with this, we are able to close the gap and to bridge that skill gap that many companies are having. So from a talent perspective, again, I think that we need to put the focus on how to own the skill space better than how to own the job space, because jobs are not anymore relevant if you don't have the right skills.
This has been a great discussion, and can I just say that we have two companies with their global headquarters in Milwaukee and then two executives based in Madrid. I love the Milwaukee-Madrid connection. So thank you both so much for joining us in the studio today.
Thank you for coming, David.
Thank you, Susana.
And thank you for watching. If you'd like to learn more about industrial automation and digital transformation, including workforce solutions, visit rockwellautomation.com.